North Park and South Park have really made a name for itself over the years as it's become more of a hipster metropolis. And now some other neighborhoods within San Diego are also seeing these changes, one being Normal Heights. Right here on the famous Adams Avenue, there's so much to do. From restaurants, bars, coffee shops, and clubs, it's really ripe for investors. Today I'm going to show you an investment property a couple blocks away, and the best thing about it is I can walk right there. Well, Gary, thank you for bringing us here today. We're used to being at homes that people are already living in, but today we're standing in somebody's future living room. So why'd you decide to bring us to a house today that's being remodeled?
Well, that's a great question, and thank you so much. I really wanted to illustrate some of the movement and lifestyle changes that are happening in some of our San Diego communities here. We are right now in Normal Heights, which is kind of sandwiched between Kensington, North Park, and University Heights. And there's been like a lifestyle change and movement happening here, I'd say probably over the last 10 years or so. So what's happening here right now is that there's a lot of investors that are purchasing homes that really need a lot of attention and basically, creating a diamond out of the piece of coal, if you will. And so I thought it was really interesting to be able to, highlight this particular home because it's not just a single family detached home. It's a 4-unit where somebody has a house, a 3-bedroom house in the front, and there's 3 units in the back that each are like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So there's a huge cultural aspect that's been changing here in the community. It's not only creating new affordable homes for people who want to live here, but also an opportunity for investors, that maybe own single family homes to consolidate their investments into like a small or larger apartment and be able to create homes like a nice, beautiful, somewhere you can call home and be proud of for people who want to live in the walkable community.
Perfect. So it's definitely gone through its changes in the past few years, or like you said, the last 10 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you guys find in this property? Was there something specific that made you guys want to come in and invest and maybe see real potential?
Yeah, well, first when we were looking in this particular area, we looked at other properties that had recently sold nearby, and we saw that over the last 12 to 18 months, there's been a real push in the values. So a lot of values have increased dramatically. That includes the 2 to 4 unit properties like this, and also the homes in the area as well. If you look at rental rates, they're also starting to increase, going off of the whole bar scene that's up towards Adams Street over here, and also having that walkability and then close drivability to other major retailers nearby. So for us, that was a really big core aspect of, is this going to be able to be sustainable for a rental play? And we think that an investor will do really well there. And it also provides a good opportunity for a single, a family to purchase the property. So we really like that attribute.
Okay, can you kind of give us just like a little bit of a walkthrough of the timeline of how this works when you identify a property, how long it takes you to get it all remodeled and then get it ready to sell?
For us, one of the first things that, the first part of it is actually identifying the potential opportunity. And that's a full-time job. So we're constantly looking for opportunities all day. And this one happened to come across our radar through an agent that we work with. And what we were able to do is once we find the opportunity, we'll go and look at comps, which are comparable sales, which are properties that have sold nearby that have similar attributes. After we determine what we think the property can sell for, then we come and inspect the property with our project manager. We put together a budget, and then we're able to determine at that point how much we can actually pay for the property. Once we do that, typically our closing period is about 10 days. Usually it's all cash or with no finance contingency or anything like that. Okay. After we close, typically we can remodel a property within anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks for a normal house. And then in a particular property like this, it was closer to 2 months, but still a very quick turnaround. And then once the property actually goes live on the market, we're shooting to be in contract between 2 to 4 weeks. And our target is to hold the property for a maximum of around 5 months if we can.
Okay, so pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah.
And then hopefully you come in, that's where all your sales experience comes in, to find the right family to call this place home. So who might want to live here? Because you said we have the detached unit up here and then there's 3 units in the back.
So this is a really interesting opportunity because the front house is large enough that a family could move into the front and essentially, rent out all 3 back units and essentially have nearly all of their mortgage paid for. So it'd be a great investment for somebody who wants to live there and manage it themselves.
Okay, awesome. And how often do you find things like this? You know, in the Normal Heights area, it's really rental heavy. There's also other homes, but since that downturn in 2008, and now we're here in 2018, I imagine that maybe a lot of stuff has been already taken. Is it tough to find things like this?
In this particular neighborhood, it's very competitive because it's very desirable for homeowners. So there are actually a lot of homeowners that will purchase the property and remodel it themselves, which makes it a little bit more of a challenge for us. But geographically, we span all throughout San Diego County, so we find opportunities all the way from Fallbrook down to Imperial Beach. And for us, we're typically buying about 8 to 10 properties per month. But in this particular pocket, especially with an area similar to like Normal Heights and areas that are really quickly moving and really hip and everybody kind of wants to be, they're a little bit harder for an investor to find unless they're just so they need so much work that a normal homeowner just can't actually do the job. Yeah.
So geographically, with the area that we're in, let's talk about Normal Heights a little bit. Stuff that's close by that people could walk to. Are you familiar with anything around here, Gary?
You know what? There's so much that people would want to do. Like just probably about 3 to 4 blocks that way in Adams Avenue, there's a whole strip between coffee shops, bars, theaters, music venues, restaurants. I mean, you name it, it's all there, and you can even meander into North Park or Kensington or other areas. It's just
University Heights, right?
University Heights right next door as well. So there's just so much diversity in each little community that maybe be like 6 to 7 blocks at a time.
Yeah, and we're so lucky to live in San Diego that you don't necessarily have to walk, even though it's walkability. You don't have to drive. You can actually take a bike or maybe take a scooter, meet your friends at the coffee shop, at the bar. Adams Avenue, though, is known for its great restaurants. They also have a street fair, I believe, once a year. So seems like it could be family friendly, but also for young adults as well.
Right, absolutely.
So also within the other areas that have really kind of shot up in the last few years, what types of people do you think are really flocking to this neighborhood? Because I know you guys said natives, but do you think that maybe people that are coming to move to San Diego, just families or people or students, do they really know about this pocket? I know the beach is so popular for people out of town, but this seems like a really nice gem.
Well, for people moving into San Diego from outside of San Diego, their first thought is the beach, and then they realize how expensive that may be, and so they start looking for other options to still feel that beach San Diego lifestyle, and they start finding neighborhoods like this. And I think people want community, and I think they want to just, feel a part of their neighbors, and they're being in a nice area. And again, yes, I think some San Diego natives had moved back here, right? And then we have a big student population here, and we have a younger, older. It's just such a diverse area that it's just the beauty of San Diego.
I know, it really is. Well, thank you guys both so much for bringing us here, giving us a little bit of insight into the investor aspect, and getting to see something kind of in the midst of its transformation.
Kind of cool, right? A little bit
really
different.
Is.
All right, well, thanks for coming.